Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode here on the channel, fresh off of Chase Elliott making a last lap pass on Kevin Harvick after he led 99 of 100 laps in Martinsville there in the last episode. So Elliott joins the new winners list and now, of course, puts himself in the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. Here we are, headed into the Talladega area now, of course, a track where we can really see anybody that's in the field win here today in this Geico 500. And hopefully that person that goes to victory lane is going to be myself. We'll have to wait and see, of course, here as we are back in that 16 Nutrien colors here. Really dig this paint scheme here that Sanok whipped up. We might have another paint scheme coming up here, and then in the next episode, we're going to have the announcement of a new sponsor jumping on for two different cars, myself as well as William Byron. I did no practice, but I did qualifying because, you know, I just wanted to see where everyone qualified. Obviously, it's pointless. You will qualify last, and that's what would happen. We would be dead last. Ty Gibbs there in 39th, just in front of myself. But as we know, it does not matter where you start in Talladega. You've got an opportunity to win this race here. Now, you see the top 10, Logano at the bottom of that top 10, but Kyle Larson on pole, joined by Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Blaney, Eric Jones, the top 5. Xfinity was also in town here this weekend in Talladega. You can see the order here. Mason Massey picked up the win over Josh Berry, John Hunter, Nemechek, Jones, and Allmendinger. As you see the rest of the order, Ryan Vargas with the top 10. He's been very consistent in the top 10. Hasn't won yet, but he has been running very well. As now, it's time to focus on Sunday. Let's go Talladega Racing.
Talladega. Welcome everyone to this 2.5-mile superspeedway as the field of 40 cars is ready to take on one of the most thrilling races of the year. One of the drivers to watch today is Chase Elliott. We saw him win last week with a last lap pass on Kevin Harvick. That had to be gutting for Kevin last week. You think, Mike?
Oh, 100%, Chris. It was painful just watching Kevin Harvick lead all the laps, but the last one. He's won here before, back in 2010. Let's see if he can do it again today.
Hey, Martin, buddy, you got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Starting P2 today, bud, how you feeling about your chances after a rough stretch lately?
Well, I hate this kind of racing, so not very good. I don't know, man. We'll see what happens here.
All right, well, best of luck to you.
All right, boys, last time we were plate racing didn't go very well, but I'm a lot more confident today, so let's make it happen.
Yes, sir, let's get it today. Only 2 more races of probation, too.
You heard it there. Only 2 more races of probation today and next episode in Dover. If we can just get through these 2 races, we can go right back to wrecking Ty Dillon and not get suspended here now as he's actually starting at the back of the grid as we're going to get ready to roll from Talladega Superspeedway. Got the 50 of Connor Daly there just in front of us as we're underway from Talladega. Kyle Larson, Martin Truex Jr. lead the field to the green flag here now as we've got quite a few rookies back here. Myself, of course, Connor Daly, Ty Gibbs in that number 54. I'm sure Noah Gregson will be back here at some point as we head through this first and opening corner. So stages always are kind of a little bit interesting in Talladega. You're usually going to start stage 1 to stage 2 with about 2 or 3 laps short on feel. So it gets pretty close, but the odds are, what we've seen with the past trends, is that it's usually not going to go green the whole stage, and we'll get a caution and we'll be able to pit for the fuel, and it really won't be an issue. We won't have to consider green flag pit stops. It's not very often we have to really look at green flag pitting in stage 1 or 2 at Talladega or Daytona. 14 laps in this first and opening stage. If you remember back to Daytona, our very first race in the Cup Series with this Colleague number 16 car in the top Golf blue and white Chevrolet, we really struggled to move forward. I don't think, if I remember correctly, we didn't even enter the top 10 a single time in that race. So that was kind of my goal today, was to just get into the top 10. Up to 29th at the end of lap 2 already, so I was pretty happy with the progress we were making here. And I was just running on the inside and going forward. Riley Herbst there on my outside as we head down this backstretch. Got Christopher Bell just in front of us now as we continue to follow him. You got Suarez there on the outside, of course, now having a bit of a rough stretch lately as well. Hoping to see him have some good runs here in the next few episodes at least. But yeah, I mean, continuing to move forward here. Now, as you can see, there was some four-wide action here. Actually, you got Bell, you got McDowell, Jones, Kyle Larson, they're the pole winner on the far outside. Larson, of course, not known for being a very good super speedway racer. However, I stand by that if he could win at Martinsville, he can win at a plate race as well, because those are the two types of tracks I never thought we'd see Kyle Larson win at in his career, was Martinsville and then a plate race. So we'll see. Maybe he could get a plate win this year as well. Of course, 2 wins on the season in real life for him. Winless in NASCAR Heat 5 here now as we continue moving forward. They're passing the 51 of Brendan Poole, who's done the last few races in that car now, as we continue into the top 10. So we've already hit our goal for the day, which was just get into the top 10 at some point, because we couldn't do that at Daytona. And I just continue to run this inside line and continue to move forward. We passed 17, passing now the 20, and then the 38 just moves aside and says, you know what, go forward and go up to P4, I'll let you have it. So I say thank you very much, Todd Gilliland. Burton does the same thing. He lets me go through on the inside. I don't know why they were just, leaving it wide open, but that would allow me to get to the back of Keselowski and push him past his former teammate there with Ryan Blaney, and we'll move into second place as we close in the final moments of stage number 1. Now, bringing Todd Gilliland to my back bumper, we're going to have an opportunity to go up the inside of the 6 of Keselowski, who's not even going to try and cover it off. And here we go to the lead through 3 and 4 in Talladega for this Geico 500. Now, very, very happy with how this car is running so far as we head down this run straightaway. And now we're going to lead our first plate laps of our Cup Series career now, as no one's going to challenge us quite yet. But you guys know we're a 4-star car, so it's not the quickest car on the field. We would be under pressure pretty quick as soon as the next corner. Ryan Blaney out of turn 2 with a run and help from Christopher Bell in the 20 down the back straightaway, though. Bell goes way high. Blaney stays in the middle. We're 3 wide for the lead briefly here now, as I'm going to have more help coming from the 38, but Blaney gets clear and he's going to drop down here into turn 3. So now we're going to have to stay put behind that number 12 Ford Mustang there. For Penske Racing in the background, the 22 of Joey Logano has gone around. It looks like a tire failure there. Chris Buescher involved. Kyle Larson got a brief piece of it there as a caution flies, and this forces everybody into the pits for 4 tires and fuel, and we actually win the race out of the pit lane. So the team gets a great pit stop, and we will be back in control here for what will be just simply 2 laps of racing remaining here in stage number 1. So we are going to have a nice advantage being on this inside here, the preferred lane for the restart. We will already be clear of Blaney before we hit turn 1, and now it's just settling in. In the background, you can see in the mirror, 3 wide, Bell up the inside, and he's bringing, I believe, Bubba Wallace with him in the 23. So now to be waiting to see what those 2 Toyotas are going to be able to do on us here now as we approach the final lap of stage number 1. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see what happens and what their plan is, because worst case scenario, it was Bell, Wallace, and Kurt Busch lined up all on the inside. That's a Joe Gibbs driver and then 2 2311 drivers. Fortunately, they would stay in line all lap long. Here we are, down the front straightaway, leading the way, and for the first time in our NASCAR Cup Series career, we are going to come to the start-finish line to take the green-white checkered and become a NASCAR Cup Series stage winner here in Talladega. We will absolutely take that. Colleague won the first stage of the Daytona 500 with Justin Haley, if you guys remember that, and now, the second time we go plate racing, we win the stage for the opening stage of Talladega here. Now, this is going to once again bring everybody into the pit lane. We only ran 2 laps, but feel it's so close here. We're going to take 2 cans, 4 tires once again. Now, if you guys, of course, pay attention to maybe not the Cup Series, but the Xfinity Series, Colleague Racing is so dominant in the Xfinity Series when it comes to plate racing, so it's no surprise to see our team doing really well at these kind of tracks, even in the Cup Series now. But yeah, in the Cup Series, Colleague in real life, this hasn't quite been able to work that plate magic working together, of course, and get the 16 to 31 and then sometimes the 13 to work together. Obviously, Justin Haley is leaving Colleague at the end of the season IRL. I'm not quite decided yet on what's going to happen with him here in the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. His move might replicate real life. His move might just actually be staying here at Colleague for next season. We'll have to wait and see, but I can confirm there is going to be some developments on the way regarding Justin Haley and maybe even myself involved as well. So stay tuned on that. End of lap 1, we lead the first lap of stage 2. Connor Daly looks to my outside here now. Of course, the IndyCar driver, but has done multiple Xfinity Series races and Cup Series races with one of the best teams, of course, in NASCAR, Team Money Team Racing now. But you can see he gets shuffled back as I have help from Kurt Busch moving back to the front position, but it's not going to last long. Here comes that 3 of Austin Dillon. He got up my inside and trying to get clear through the tri-oval. I'm trying to pull him back, side draft him a little bit here as we head down this front straightaway as we cross the stripe. And now here comes Ross the Boss, the Watermelon Toss Chastain on the outside, working with none other than Denny Hamlin. Is Hamlin giving him a lane? You have to wonder as we come through the center of 1 and 2, and we are going backwards. There's the 500 winner of Riley Herbst. McDowell into second place, but not for long because he's crashing on the exit of turn 2. Bell, Hamlin get involved. The caution's going to fly. That could have been a lot worse than what it was, and the caution is out here in Talladega. McDowell loses a tire on the exit of turn 2 and goes crashing towards the inside wall, and nobody is going to pit because we can all make it to the end of stage 2 from here. Austin Dillon, Ross Chastain, the front row as we get ready to go back. Racing here once again underway now. 12 laps is all we have in stage 2, so even without the caution, we are probably going to be just fine in the fuel situation here now as we head down this front stretch, and we are already put into a bad spot. We're 3 wide. Connor Daly forced it up the middle, so I'm forced to the 3rd lane, and this is not where you want to be here now as we are still side by side, so the hole behind the 50 is also going to get filled up, so I'm going to have absolutely nowhere to go here other than just behind the 48 of Alex Bowman, and unfortunately me getting stuck on this outside would shuffle us back quite severely here, as you can see, already outside of the top 10 at the end of this first lap since the restart, but it got worse outside of the top 20. Just nowhere to go. I could not get down here now because I had an opportunity there with Truex, but then Logano filled up that hole, so I just continue to go backwards. A push from the 17 of Chris Buescher, but I mean, just still looking for an opportunity. We would drop down to 30th place where my teammate of Justin Haley actually was in the 31 car, and still looking for the right opportunity now as you see me forcing it up the inside of the 2, 3 wide in the middle between the 2, and last episode's winner there of Chase Elliott from Martinsville. I believe that's his 2nd win of his Cup Series career or at Martinsville there. 4 wide now with Hamlin, Cindric, Larson, help from the 31 of my teammate of Haley down this back stretch here now as I'm trying to get clear of this number 5, but unfortunately it would take a lot longer than I was hoping because we're through the tri-oval still side by side with the 5. 4 laps to go in this stage, and now Haley would get to the inside and abandon me, so he's going forward, and I just still cannot find an opportunity to get to the inside. Just waiting for the right opportunity. Finally, with 2 to go in stage 2, the opportunity was right there. I jumped down in front of the 2 of Austin Cindric and tried to get back up to this pack in front of me, which was very easy now. Within seconds, we were already back to them. A very different, scene compared to where we were at the end of stage 1 with 2 laps to go, in position to win the stage, of course, now. As you can see, Reddick, we were going to force it 3 wide with him. Blaney now moving up the track. White flag was about to be in the air, and it's AJ Allmendinger leading on this final lap of stage 2, so I won stage 1 for Colleague. It's our part-time teammate of Allmendinger leading the way down this front straightaway through the tri-oval, and Colleague is going to sweep the first 2 stages. Allmendinger wins stage 2. We cross the stripe. It's going to be P22. Doesn't that 36 look great now that it's fixed? It's actually a Ford, not a Ford Oda. Does that sound right? A Ford Oda or like a Toyota? I don't know. Either way, it looks good now. It's fixed. So yeah, everybody's going to come into the pits here again, fill it up on field. Riley Herbst, 2nd place. This guy is becoming a super speedway merchant at this point now. He's so quick at these tracks now. Of course, that's a team that is fighting for their life to get him into the top 30 in the points, and it's going to come down to not really the plate races. It's going to come down to having him run consistently in the top 30 at other tracks now as we get ready to roll here for stage number 3, which is now underway here. It's going to be about 15 laps of racing here in Talladega remaining now as we go from P22 to hopefully the front of the pack here. Now you got that 36 of Zane Smith just in front of us here, and behind us you see Buescher is going to get forced 3 wide by Cindric and William Byron in the 24. Byron 2 wins on the season, same for Chastain. Could we see another winner go multi-time wins today, or is it going to be another new winner? We don't want to see new winners in the situation that we're in for season 1 of this career mode. It's, of course, we're going to be a bubble driver, so the more new winners the worse, especially when it's drivers that are like 20th in points and below. So of course Riley Herbst winning the 500 does not help, but if he falls out of that top 30, it's not going to be a big deal. But I mean, if you look around us, I mean, right now the 24 won, that's fine, but if the 3 of Austin Dillon wins, that's not good. Even the 99 of Daniel Suarez winning would not be good. I see coming up behind us the 41 of Ryan Preece. one of the last drivers I need to see winning. Actually, no, that's the 14 of Chase Briscoe, but we don't want to see him win either. So we'll have to wait and see how this race shakes up here now as we're in line with my favorite driver, Daniel Suarez, right here as we head down this backstretch. Briscoe on my left rear quarter panel now as I'm trying to get to the inside again, and that opportunity would open up right here on the exit of 4 lap 35 now. So let's try to move our way forward. Actually leading this race currently is the 41 of Ryan Preece, a single file train up there. Both my teammates of Justin Haley as well as AJ Allmendinger are up there in that single file train here, and I was starting to move my way back forward pretty quickly into the mix here, into the top 15. Now 11 laps to go, into 13th place now, coming up the inside of the number 1 of Ross Chastain. This will move us up into 12th place, following Kevin Harvick briefly. How about Connor Daly? He's just had a respectable effort all day long in that number 50 car. Now as I go to the inside of the 4 there, you saw a bit of a checkup, a little bit of contact as well between my nose and his rear bumper. Chastain's just behind myself in line. Preece continues to lead, but now we're into the top 10. Dylan does not cover it off, so an easy move into 9th place. A big run here on the back of the 8 of Kyle Busch. I'm going to jump up to the outside because I saw we had an opportunity to do it and not lose any positions if it goes wrong, and it did go wrong and we didn't go anywhere. So I jumped back down in front of that 1 car. You see Kyle Busch though jumping up a lane here in the trials. So now I'm going to look up the inside. Eric Jones there on the outside of the 3 wide, and now we're going to be in the mix for the win with 8 to go. But we do have not enough field. Nobody has enough field to get to the end of this race here, but we got our teammates up here. You got Allmendinger, you got Haley right here in front of us. Elliott shuffled back. Preece continues to lead over Noah Gragson. Allmendinger about to go to 2nd. I was trying to leave a hole for my teammate of Haley to jump down if he wanted it. However, Haley would not take up the opportunity, so I would say, all right, I'm going forward. So we close that hole. A little bit of contact right there with the 42 of Gragson. Got to be careful with him, of course. He is very close at this point to being a rival. Allmendinger to the lead over Preece, and I'm trying to follow through with help from the number 8 of Kyle Busch, the Bristol Motor Speedway winner there from a few episodes ago. 6 laps of racing, 4 laps of field left in this car, and look at the momentum stall out there for the pack of cars, and myself and Allmendinger were way out in front, but they would quickly close into the back of us again. Preece on my back bumper, lap 43. My spotter comes over the radio to tell me that Allmendinger is pitting this lap. So we're going to be following him as our teammate, of course. We're going to be pitting together with our colleague teammate of Allmendinger. I don't know what Haley's doing, but you want to be with each other here, and it's pretty surprising. Usually we've had a caution that doesn't force this situation, but you can see that a lot less cars are pitting than the ones that stayed out here now. So we're going to come into the pits here. Kyle Busch just behind us, Austin Hill in the 62 as well here in the mix. We're taking half a can of fuel, so this is basically going to give us just barely enough fuel to make it to the end of this race. We want to come out with our teammate, but unfortunately they took 1 can of fuel, so they spent extra time in the pits. So I'm going to be way out in front, which means we are going to get absolutely engulfed probably here in traffic. So next lap, on the next trip around, you can see everybody exiting here on this big pile of cars going by Kurt Busch, Gragson, Byron, Busher. There's Bowman and Cindric, and I saw in the background, that's the 21 of Harrison Burton, the 23 of Bubba Wallace, who are absolutely flying. I couldn't defend it even if I wanted, so I just let them go by on the outside. I tried to jump up behind Bubba to stay in the draft, but unfortunately, they had so much speed that I couldn't stay within their draft. So here I am all by myself running P10 with 2 laps to go, but now leading, it's the 31 of Justin Haley trying to do a colleague racing grand slam, you could call it, by winning stage 1, stage 2, and then the race. We're P6 once everything's said and done with the pit stops now. As you can see, the cars behind us closing, but the caution is going to fly, and that is going to force NASCAR overtime here in Talladega with Haley, Dylan, Preece, Burton, Bubba, your top 5. None of those drivers have won. Nobody in the top 10 has won a race this season. We are going to see a new winner here today, whether you like it or not, and we are going to be extremely close on feel. We are here to win, so we're not even going to come into the pits and make sure we're safe. So it is what it is. Whatever happens, happens right here, really. Haley, Dylan, Preece, Burton, right there in front of us. We're back underway. 2 laps of racing, 2 laps of fuel up there in the top left corner. This is going to be a close one here. It's all about when that field light comes on. I think we're okay, because the field light, once that comes on, you got about 2 laps to the good. And it hasn't even come on yet. Bubba Wallace forces it 3 wide. I force it 4 wide there there, I saw what was about to happen. If I didn't follow or get to the inside of the 21, we were going backwards. So I made an aggressive move just like Bubba did, and we get in behind him. Unfortunately, Harrison Burton gets boned. Absolutely royally screwed he did there by myself in the 23. The field light comes on, so we're going to be fine. We will make it, not by much, but we're making it to the end. Bubba, 3 wide in the middle there, splitting the 3 and the 41. Haley jumps up to the outside. He thinks the outside's the way to go. I don't think it is, to be honest. Now, even though I'm a teammate in his lane, I don't think he made the right choice with that. Now, I'm going to jump up to the outside to try and stall out the 23 and the 41. I had to push from Kyle Busch, so I had to take it clear of Bubba Wallace. Now, here comes the push from the 8 of Kyle Busch now as we close in on the back of our teammate of Haley. White flag is in the air. We make it back one more time around this 2.5 mile super speedway here in Talladega, Alabama. Ryan Parise leads the way down into turn 1. Help from Cindric behind. Haley on his outside. I am stalled out there. I was trying to, of course, get reconnected with Kyle Busch, so I did check up a little bit now. Parise well clear. Over the 2 and the 31. We give a shove to the 31 down the back straightaway, but it's not enough. Kurt Busch up my inside here. Austin Hill just behind him, who's been a super speedway merchant in Xfinity there. And I go to the inside of the 31 of Haley as he did not stay in line with me there. That's one of the negative effects of having a draft partner, and that royally destroys our run down this run straightaway. And it's Ryan Parise who leads the way into the tri-oval here through the final few moments. Now he's out of field. The 41's out of gas. He's slow, but it's not enough. He wins anyways there. Ryan Parise nearly lost it in the final moments. We end up P5, but the 41 ran out of field right in front of the drivers behind him, so they couldn't attack on it. We were nearly in perfect position, but it wasn't meant to be, as you see the rest of the finishing order on your screen. How about Larson down in 30th place, Truex in 35th, absolutely abysmal. Herbst ended up 39th, Gibbs 38th. Terrible days for those drivers here. Now, as you can see, we will take a look at the playoff grids for Truck 6 Xfinity as well as the Cup Series here. What a race in Talladega. A lot of fun, honestly. It's unfortunate we came up short, just wrong positions on the restarts, etc. Just it piled up into basically meaning we couldn't fight for the win. So it was what it was. We almost had an opportunity there with Priest running out of field coming to the line. You saw him slow up big time. I knew some other drivers were going to be close, not just myself, but we are back inside the playoffs currently. As you can see, Truex has dropped way out now in the playoff situation, but we are tied with Larson in 8 points above the cut line over Buescher and Justin Haley. That's going to wrap it up for myself. As always, if you guys enjoyed, you know what to do. I'll see you guys in the next one from Dover for the Dryden 400. Thank you for watching, and have yourselves a great day.